and welcome to Training Tuesday, the first Training Tuesday of 2019. I can't believe it. This is where we go through weekly tips and tricks to make your career just a little bit more awesome. Now, this week we are going to be diving into a topic based on a training I did a few weeks ago in Hustle Hive, which is an online community for ambitious women who are looking to build fulfilling careers. And in the Hustle Hive, I shared this training all about the 6 steps to create massive change in 2019. And one of the first steps is the one that I'm going to be highlighting today. So you can check out the full training there if you missed it. But the first step, which is a really important one that I want to highlight, is about the idea of decision. And when it comes to making change in your life, the first thing you have to do is decide. Now, this might seem kind of obvious and kind of like a no-brainer, but it's not. Because so often what happens, I've done it, I think we've all done it at some point, is people pseudo-commit. Right? So they make a decision that they're going to do something new or going to make some sort of change, but they get a little bit freaked out about what that actually entails. And so they commit to doing it, but they don't necessarily go 100% in, right? They maybe don't tell people, or they, semi set up this business, but don't put themselves wholeheartedly into it. And the thing is, these people really want to make that change. Right? But unfortunately, if you are not actually bridging that gap from your fear of commitment into actually, making that commitment, it's going to be pretty dang hard to actually make the change, right? Until you go all in, until you commit to the fact that this is truly, really, truly happening, it's going to be very hard for you to move the mark there. And so that is what I wanted to call to your attention this week, because this is something that a lot of us do. And the reason we do it is out of fear, right? It's the ego. It's the, oh my gosh, if I commit to saying that I'm going to do something and people actually know, or it's a, something that's out there and is public, well, if I fail, then everyone's going to see and they're going to know, right? And so that's really the reason why this fear of commitment comes up, why people pseudo decide, why they go halfway in. And halfway in gets halfway results, right? That's never what we want to see. And so if you've been doing this, I have a couple tips for you. I want you to start to consider what it is that you want to do. And there's 3 little steps that you can start with. So 1, actually claim what it is. Do it internally, do it externally, tell people you know, but also decide for yourself, right? Write it out on paper. Here's this thing that I'm committing to doing, and commit to it. The second step is actually considering why you're doing that, because that can really help you to commit. It can really help you to be more vocal about it, because when you think about why you want to do something and what the motivating factor is, it's a lot easier to get yourself bought in. And then the third piece I want you to do is actually start to shift your mindset to constantly moving forward. So what I mean by that is catching yourself by setting yourself up to essentially say, there is no going backwards. There's only going forwards. Because if you're doing the 1 foot in the door, 1 foot out, you don't actually go anywhere. You just straddle that for a while. And so instead saying, okay, I can always, I'm not going to necessarily go backwards, but I can always decide again. So if I make the commitment to this and decide that's not what I want to do, I can pivot later. And so I really want you to start to focus on that mindset of there is no backwards. There's only forwards, but there's tons of options in terms of going forwards, okay? So start to shift that mindset, start to try and claim those things, start to try and commit to this and make this something that you are fully deciding on, because that's the first step in making any sort of change. Try those tips on for size. If you are struggling to determine what exactly that commitment is or what that way forward is for you, I'm running another training in Hustle Hive this Thursday, the 10th, all about the ways that you can actually figure out what's going forward for you. Because a lot of people are like, I want change, I'm just not exactly sure what the next step is for me. So we'll be working on that and teaching you how to come up with that. So if you want to join that, drop a training below. I'll make sure that you're in the group. If you have any questions, reach out to me, of course. And in the meantime, happy working.